Hi everyone, welcome back to the ranch at Chez Temescal. It is a first night of Hanukkah edition of Bone Quarantine. We're really happy that you're here with us tonight. So we are going to be making potato latkes. And what I have here, starting with our ingredients, is about 1.75 pounds to 2 pounds of russet potatoes that were scrubbed, skins left on, and grated. And then also a half of a red onion that was grated and added. And then I mixed in 1 teaspoon of salt. Now, here's the secret to what we do with our recipe here. We let it set for just a moment or two and let that salt help the potatoes lose some of their moisture. Okay? So what we're going to do next, though, is actually the secret to this recipe. Grab yourself a dish towel, a clean dish towel, and what you want to do is you want to pour out about half of your potato mixture. Meanwhile, what you can do is you can have your oven preheating, to 200 degrees to keep these warm, if you like, as you're making them in separate batches. But you see all this liquid that's here, right? And this is kind of fun, but it still can be a little messy, as you can see here. Grab our dish towel, and what we want to do now is we want to just squeeze as best we can. We want to squeeze all of the liquid, or as much liquid as we can get out. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll take the other half of the mixture here. Again, don't worry that it's going to be all that messy. If you want, you can certainly do this in multiple stages. You can, instead of doing it in half, you can do it in thirds. Any way that seems to work the best for you. Okay, so don't wash out the bowl. Just leave the bowl as is, right? And again, get the 4 corners of your towel. Come on over your measuring cup. Okay, now look at how much liquid came out of just that much of the potatoes. Now we're going to let this set aside and let it separate between the water and the potato starch. The potato starch is going to settle at the bottom. All right, so while it's doing that, you see I kind of made a bit of a mess of it. That's all right. We'll get to it here in just a moment. This is kind of the fun part, being in the kitchen. Go ahead and empty our dish towels back into our potatoes. Now here's the next part of this recipe that we do differently here at the ranch. So normally what you can do here is you can throw in a little matzo meal and you put in your eggs as your binder and all that. Well, now what we're going to do here instead is I found, and I really enjoy doing this with so many different potato recipes that I've done. And that is, I want to get a jump start on the cooking of the potatoes. So the way we do that is we're going to pop this in the microwave for a total of 2 minutes and stirring every 30 seconds. All right, so this mixture was in the microwave for 2 minutes and stopping every 30 seconds to give it a good stir. And then it's now been out of the microwave for about 10 minutes so that it can cool. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the potatoes are cool, because otherwise if you put your eggs in, you'll start to scramble them. The other thing is that when you are doing the microwave method, the key is just to warm the potatoes. It's not necessarily to get the potatoes very hot. What we're doing in the microwave is we're actually changing the structure of the potatoes a little bit too. So we're giving them a jump start or par cooking them, but also this will help ensure that the inside of the latkes will be nice and fluffy. All right, so we've got this setting here ready to go. Our next step here is to take a look at what's going on with our potato starch. You can see here on the bottom is that the potato starch is settling to the bottom. And so what I want to do here, hopefully without making too big of a mess, is I want to pour off the water There we go. Leaving just the potato starch in the bottom, okay? This is how much water we got out of just under 2 pounds of potatoes. Okay, so let me get rid of this. So, to our potato starch now, what we want to do is take our eggs and just pour our eggs right in, and we're going to mix this together to form our binder. Okay, all mixed up. Okay, then coming back with our potatoes and our onions, I'm going to sprinkle in some pepper. This is 2 teaspoons of pepper. Again, you can add the pepper to taste. Okay, and then we're going to pour in our egg and potato starch mixture. And let's give this a good stir. This has been all stirred together with our egg, the pepper, the potato starch, and this is now ready to go into our frying pan. I brought out the electric skillet, and let me see if I can get this moved over to where we can see what's going on. Awesome. All right, so right now I am heating this up to about 350 degrees. So 350 degrees, I've got a 1/3 scoop, and I've got a spatula here ready to go. Now be careful, because this will splatter on you, and you want to just be careful. And put it away from you. Coming back with your spatula and giving it a little bit of a mush. Okay. Okay. And we are starting our latkes. And then depending on how much potato you have, if you get a little over 2 pounds of potatoes, probably yield you about almost about 10 latkes. And so in this case here, it looks like we got about 5, maybe 6 latkes we're going to have all together. So let's let this cook here for a little bit. We're going to flip them over. Come on back, and soon we'll be ready to eat. Okay, don't go away. We'll be right back. Okay, I think we're ready to flip these over. Now, you notice that I've got my instant read thermometer going here. And that's, when you put the potatoes in, it actually drops the temperature of the oil for a bit. So what you do is you end up adjusting your heat up and then just keeping an eye on your temperature. So let's see, how did we do here? All right, so we're going to have these go on the other side until they get nice and crispy. And that's going to be just a couple of minutes, so come on back. Oh yeah, nice and crunchy. Okay, so let's go ahead. I've got a wire rack with some paper towel on it. Just pop this off here. Let them drain just for a moment. And again, if you were making the whole batch, the whole recipe, what you would do then is once these drained, you would just pop them in the oven at 200 degrees to stay warm. So let's let these drain and cool just for a moment, and then we're going to tuck into them and see how they turned out, all right? So don't go away. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and we have our finished latkes here. So I'm going to grab one here. Okay, take these out of the way. And let's add maybe a little bit of sour cream. And some applesauce. And if you like, you can also sprinkle some fresh parsley over them if you want to give them just a little bit of color. But this is how I like them. So let me dig in and see what we got here. Hang on. Definitely a crunchy exterior. I don't know if I can show you. The outside is very, very crunchy, but the inside is fluffy. the pepper and the onion. So your latkes don't steam. They actually fry up really nicely once you get rid of all that water that's in the potatoes. One of the nicest things about Hanukkah. There's so many different foods that you get to have during this time of year, and particularly potato latke is by far one of my favorites. So there you have it. We've just completed another edition of Bone Quarantine here at the ranch at Chez Temescal. This is the first night of Hanukkah, and this was my potato latke recipe. And just remember, the key is to be able to drain the water off, keep the potato starch, microwave your potatoes to give them a jump start, and then watch your oil and make sure you're staying at about 350 degrees. Salt and pepper to taste. I like these with a lot of pepper in them, so when you have 2 teaspoons of pepper, that's, you know, for some folks that might be too much pepper, so you may want to back it off to maybe a half teaspoon or maybe a teaspoon. But all in that, it all comes together very nicely. It's just great for this time of year. Potato latkes here on the first night of Hanukkah. This has been fantastic. Really enjoyed sharing this recipe with you. Hope you enjoyed watching it. Keep sending us recipe ideas. Keep having folks subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe and like our YouTube channel. And be sure to keep tuning in as we keep bringing more recipes to you from the ranch at Chez Temescal. So until the next time we get together, thanks so much for watching and have an amazing day. Happy Hanukkah, everyone. Oh, so good.